I got in the car with my father, and the first hint of trouble was that he didn't know how to find the Prospect Expressway, which is the expressway that leads to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. He did not know how to find it. He also did not know how to find the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway or any other expressway that would get us home. Now, here I am, a savant, precocious kid with a high IQ, and I tell him, "You're going the wrong way." "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I know what I'm doing! Shut up!" So, I shut up, and I sat in the back seat. I did not want to be in the front seat, because I did not know what was going to happen. We found the tunnel, and my dad is weaving all over the place until we finally get to the Long Island Expressway, which is 3 and sometimes 4 lanes, depending on where you are. And my dad was weaving all over those 3 or 4 lanes. He was in and out of traffic, over the lines. And back then, the cops really didn't do much about DUI like they do now. It was nothing like that. He kept looking over the seat that he's driving, and then he's looking back at me and yelling at me about all this various extraneous stuff. "You and your cousin, you and sister, you and your cousin, you and your cousin, you're coming home now." It was like that. As I'm weaving in and out of traffic with him on the Long Island Expressway. So finally, and people who've been on the Long Island Expressway will know I'm not making this up, we're at exit 40, Sunnyside Boulevard. Anybody who's been on the Long Island Expressway knows I'm not making this up. Long Island Expressway, exit 40, Sunnyside Boulevard. There's a Holiday Inn there on the north side of the expressway. And he finally looks back at me and he tells me, this is my father, and I'm 14 or 15 years old, and he says to me, "I've had enough. I'm just going to leave you right here. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to let you out of the car. And you're going to get out right here." Because I was asking him to slow down. "Please drive slower." "I know what I'm doing." Ultimately, I convinced him not to just leave me there. Maybe I should have let him do it. But I didn't have any money. I didn't have a wallet on me. I had no identification. I had nothing. Didn't know anybody around there. So I just sat there in terror for the next 30 miles as he continued to weave in and out of traffic until we finally, amazingly, made it home. And the next day, when I woke up, I felt like I'd been to the war. I felt like I'd been terrorized. I sat in my room and put headphones on and played loud music and didn't want to see anyone or talk to anyone. I left my bedroom door closed. And my father, I don't know how much he remembered about the night before, but he came in and acted like nothing ever happened. And it was one of the things that happened between me and my father that resulted in us not having a close relationship. It was one of the things that when I left home 2 years later, and I did leave at 16, when I left home 2 years later, I never said anything about it. And later on, my dad couldn't figure out why I wouldn't come home for Christmas or why I wouldn't be with him when he got cancer and he was sick and why I couldn't find time to be with him. It was the thing that made me not want to be there. That he did that and that he never apologized for it. He acted like it never happened. But it did happen. There are people in my family who get upset when I talk about this, especially when I talk about it on the air, but it's true. It's 100% true. Now, I told you this story because now I see this story about these 2 teenagers, and there it is, Long Island. Mom is drunk, and the 2 kids are in the car. And the kids are begging her to stop, and they don't. She doesn't stop until she crashes into a stop sign. And the girls got out of the car and fled. And they called the cops. And you know there are people who say that they shouldn't have called the cops. I think they did exactly the right thing. I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care. You know, there are people saying that's your mother. You don't turn your mother into the police. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I think the daughter who reported her mother driving drunk on Sunrise Highway in Long Island did the exact right thing. Because mom's got to deal with her issue. She's going to be taught a lesson. Do you disagree?
Tom. 1-800 Tom.
I think you're brilliant. I enjoy.
The Tom Leykis Show. And of course, we have a telephone snafu. If you've been trying to call in, the regular phone number is not working. So if you're trying to dial in, call this number, 310. That's 310 area code, 310-558-8046. There's a memorable phone number. Ask for it by name, 310-558-8046. And because the radio station in L.A. has like a 2-minute delay on us now, we're just going to sit here and drum our fingers and wait for the phone to ring. Because it's going to be a long time before anybody gets the number and can dial it. 310-558-8046. I might tell you, if you're listening online, anywhere in the world, this is one of the benefits of having a snafu like this. And I always like to take lemons and make lemonade when possible. But if you're listening somewhere other than the United States, Canada, or Mexico, you can now dial us from anywhere in the world at that number. Oh, look at the phones now. 310-558-8046. 310-558-8046. I want to thank the phone company, first of all, for their rapid response to our murder investigation. They just jumped right on that, and now screwing up our 800 number. Good work. All right, these two girls, two teenage girls, they called the police because mom was drunk, crashed into a stop sign, and then she dropped the two girls off and continued driving, so they called the police. They did the right thing. Luna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Luna.
I agree. I mean, they did what was right to call the police, even if it's your mother. I mean, my stepdad, when I was really little, I have two siblings, my little brother and my big brother. When I was really little, I want to say about 6 or 7, my little brother was 5. My big brother's about 5 years older than I am. My stepdad got really drunk, and he ended up getting into a fight with my mom. I don't remember what it was about, but he was getting really physical with her. And it was really scary for me because I didn't know what was going on. And my big brother called the police.
Mm-hmm.
And they made my stepdad sleep in the motorhome. It was really funny, actually.
Did anyone say you did the wrong thing?
I don't think so, no. My biological father is the one that I normally talk to about what happens with this side of the family because I don't see him very often. And he said that I did the right thing, that my brother did the right thing too, because I was scared. My stepdad was grabbing my mom by the arm and shaking her. So, I mean, me and my siblings were scared. We didn't know what to do. The police finally came over and made him sleep out in the motorhome. And I really think those girls did the right thing. They were in trouble. They were scared.
Yeah, and not only that, mom was endangering not only other people but herself.
Yeah.
I mean, she kept driving.
I know, and I'm 18. I have my license. I've had it for a couple of years. I would never drive under the influence of anything because I understand what it can do to someone if you hit anything. And
well, certainly if you've hit the stop sign, you've demonstrated that you are above the blood alcohol limit.
Yeah.
You are clearly endangering people. Yourself, the other people in the car, the other people who might be out there on the road somewhere. That was, you know what? That was a good time for Mom to stop, park the car, call a cab, bring the kids home, and then go get the car the next day or something like that. But no.
Yeah, and the girls did the right thing because, I mean, even if you're in the car with your seatbelts on, there's still things that can happen to you. If there could have been a pedestrian next to the stop sign.
But there's a lot of people who would say, you know, that's your mom. How do you turn your mom in? It's your mom.
Well, it may be their mom, but, I mean, if your mom is really going to hurt someone else or endanger you as her kids, I'm sure that if your mom was sober, she would want you to turn her in.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that because I sure know that my dad wouldn't want me to turn him in. I'll tell you that.
Leykis. Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
People fantasize about 14 and 15 and 16-year-old girls all the time. What are you going to do? Put them all in prison? Put everybody up to a lie detector test? Ask people if they fantasize about the girl across the street when she wears a thong bikini? You're going to put these people in prison? What are you talking about?
But where do you draw the line?
I drew the line for you, you idiot!
The Tom Leykis Show. Our 800 number is on the fritz. So you call this number, 310-558-8046. And you can call us from anywhere in the world. The area code 310-558-8046. Jason on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom,
Yes.
my brother from another mother.
Hey.
First of all, I've been listening to you for about 10 months now up in San Francisco. I've been preaching to my boys for the last 3 or 4 years exactly what you're spilling on the radio, and I was blown away to hear somebody on the radio with the same philosophy.
I love that.
But you know what? You were talking about your story when you were younger, dealing with your dad. My old man was 22 years in the Army, and every weekend was exactly the same for him. It was get home, bust out the red and whites, and just tie it on. And there was the last time that he took my brother and I actually out. We were in Salt Lake City, and he drove us about 40 miles out into the salt flats because he wanted to go and shoot. And we took a 24-pack of red and whites with us and went out and spent about 4 hours shooting a .357 Magnum and a .44. And about the time we finished and he finished his last beer, we were on our way back and got pulled over by the Utah Highway Patrol. My brother and I sat on the side of the road for 5 hours while they clicked up the old man and gave him the Chrome Bracelet Award and took him in. And that was the last time he pulled anything like that with us. My dad since died, but we made our peace with everything that happened before he died. But those girls did the right thing.
Were you glad the cops pulled your dad over?
Yeah, I'm glad. It hurt. I was young. I was probably about 12 or 13. It hurt to see that happen to my old man, but I'm glad they did it. I'm glad it happened because from that point on, he never took my brother and I in the car with him when he was drinking. I had to drive him once when I was 15, and we actually got pulled over while I was driving. But the patrolman that time was really cool about it, threatened to haul my dad in, but there really wasn't anything he could do. I was driving without a license, and the other option we had was him driving drunk, and he was good with me driving, I guess.
Wow. And so you think the girls did the right thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because I know there are people out there who would say, well, wait a minute, that's your mom. What are you doing? You can't turn your mom into the police.